Hello, everybody out there in the Titan Trivia internet sphere. We want to welcome you here tonight for continuation of our big event here in the spring. This is for Titan Mania 2. I am the man with the plan. I am the person who hopefully will not worsen your evening for having watched me and this particular stream. My name is Mr. Robert Kastner, and we are here tonight for a clash of titans, as it is Titan Trivia, pun intended. These are two gentlemen who've been going back and forth a little bit in the interwebs, going at each other, making sure they're aware that one thinks they are the greatest and the other one thinks they are the greatest. So thus we have to meet here on the field of battle to decide who actually should get that title, at least as it relates to these particular two gentlemen. So we'll do some brief interviews and then we'll do our introductions and get started with our match. So we're going to go ahead and start with the person that hasn't necessarily been in the sphere here in Titan as long as the other. We're going to start with Mr. Jacob Papa West. Papa, for this season, I believe is your first time competing here in Titan, especially as it relates to singles. How are you feeling this evening going against a person who you know very well, someone who you've clashed words with, and now you've clashed swords with this particular evening?
Robert, I do need to clarify something for you. Yeah. Earlier you said one says that they are the greatest and the other one says they are the greatest.
Yeah.
I have never once said that I am the greatest.
Well, the greatest between these two.
Because I am not a conceited asshole, and I know things. Granted, Chris saying that he is the greatest at anything is the biggest lie ever said to any human being. Because if anything, he is the greatest at nothing. The greatest piece of dirt, if you want to call it that. The greatest at being annoying. The greatest at...
You're just, that's it?
Drawing blanks. Yeah.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Not actually that at all. So if he is a liar, Jacob, what is it that you do to liars?
I punish them. I sit them in timeout, make them think about their actions. And if that doesn't get the point across, then I discipline them in other ways. You know the ways. Usually spankings or they'll smack on the wrist. So Chris, I have already put you in timeout. It did not work. So get your hand ready because I have the spoon. I'm about to smack your hand with the spoon.
And Papa, last question. Now that we know the lengths that you'll go to punish, how long do you think it will take into this match before you are breaking out the hardware to teach Chris the lesson?
Literally, as soon as you're done talking to me, I'm going to go get it because there's nothing gets through this guy's head. He has to call me out to try to get him to shut up. So, I'm gonna kick his ass. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you're right, I suck," and I'm not gonna talk anymore. And then 2 days later, I just let you win. I really am the greatest of all time. So really, nothing that I do is gonna matter. Give me a design. But I'll still do it anyway.
I will tell you something, Papa. Anything that you do matters to me. And since I'm the host, that means a great deal. Well, we want to thank you for coming here this evening as a testament to your character and for trying to teach people lessons who need them, apparently. So thank you for that. We're going to shift gears then, go to the other side, the other sideline, if you will, and we'll talk to the other competitor here this evening, the Destroyer, Mr. Christopher Day, Mr. Future Hall of Famer now. However it is that you want to say about him, because he has been realm for quite a bit of time. Mr. Day, you heard and you see now as a visual representation what it is that Papa claimed that he was going to do to you. How would you like to retort to that?
Basically all I would say is it's basically if Hulk Hogan and The Rock were in the ring. So besides that, I'm just ready to go. Let's just do it.
What are you hoping to accomplish this evening? Do you have a thought in mind for how much you would like to dominate this match?
Not really. I'm just ready to do it.
You're just ready to go? Well, he seems like to be a man of few words. So with that, we will say thank you to the Destroyer. And we will get into our introductions as we lead into round one. But before that, introducing first, in this preeminent match of Titan Mania 2. Coming to the ring with a record of 0 wins and 0 defeats, as I mentioned, because he's not competed yet this year. We have your 37th favorite Papa in the fan leagues, Mr. Papa Jacob West.
Do I have to?
All the girls and the boys, people making noise, let me hear you shout. Roar, roar, you sit in a twist like this, like go out.
And his opponent.
Okay.
Coming into the ring with a record of, I want to say, 2 wins and 1 defeat. A former #1 contender, almost champion here in Titan singles. We have the Destroyer, Christopher J. There we go. So those are our introductions, ladies and germs. We are ready to get into round 1 of this 3-round set. If you've ever watched fan trivia or trivia of movie variety of any kind, then you know what round 1 entails. It is your standard pen and paper / marker whiteboard round. We will have 8 different questions in 8 different movie categories. Each one will be competing, getting the same question, so there's no chance for stealing. You have 15 seconds to write down your answer and show it and verbalize it. I want to make sure that your hands are on screen at all times, if possible. When the countdown is up, once you say and state your answer, it'll either be correct and you get a point, or if it's incorrect, it'll be wrong. You get 0 points. You don't lose any points as a result. If anybody manages to get all 8 questions correct in the round, they will be given a bonus question for an additional point. Please also note, gentlemen, that you have 3 repeats to use throughout the match, 1 challenge. Does anybody have any questions before we get started here in round 1? The Destroyer. Shaking his head. Papa West, do you have any questions leading into the first question of round 1?
Yeah. Chris, where'd you get that shirt? The toilet store?
Oh, burn. If I could do edits and stuff, I would do like, oh, snap. That some people do. But with that being said, that snap out of the way, we're going to get into question 1 of round 1 here. Gentlemen, in the category of the 1960s, what 1960s film was the feature debut of director Peter Yates? Don't know much about this director other than this particular question that I had written, but I do know that he was very prominent in this era. And this particular movie is one that I have not seen, but I've heard a lot of good things about and has been referenced in other movies that I have watched. So hopefully when you hear the answer, you will be someone who's inclined to watch that movie. But with that, countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, gentlemen. And we will start with Papa West.
Driving Miss Daisy.
And the Destroyer.
Friends of Eddie Coy.
Both incorrect. The answer we were looking for was Bullet. Bullet. Worked prominently with Steve McQueen. So no perfect rounds here. That's going to take us into question 2. Question 2 is in the category of teen comedies. Where do Kat and Patrick go on their date after she helps him skip out of detention in 10 Things I Hate About You?
Look for the...
Obviously, this is a reference, as an homage to Shakespearean stories. If you like to read those sorts of things, I mean, I did when I was in high school, and then I stopped doing it because I could never understand what the hell was being said. And you can only read margin definitions so much before you want to blow your brains out. But my issues aside, go to the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, gentlemen. We're going to start with Mr. Day this time.
Amusement park?
And Papa West.
A drive-in theater.
Unfortunately, you're both incorrect. They went to paintball. But they didn't have guns. They just threw paintballs at each other, which always seemed really weird to me at the time. But with that, off to a blistering start here. But that's going to take us into question 3, which is in the category of thrillers. Who plays Emily Blunt's ex-husband in the film The Girl on the Train?
Whatever will fit your finger.
This is another one of those movies adapted from modern books that people really enjoyed. I think it was supposed to be like the next Gone Girl, but you know what? It wasn't.
It was terrible.
It wasn't even close. You have to have Gillian Flynn behind you, I guess, just to make sure things go off without a hitch. But my editorializing aside, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, gentlemen, and pop away.
I completely blanked on his name, so I just said Patrick Dempsey.
Not a bad guess. And Destroyer.
No, I didn't have anything.
What?
Mr. used to be Jennifer Aniston, Justin Theroux.
Figure fingers.
So with that's going to take us into question 4, which is in the category of directors. Who directed 1982's Fast Times at Ridgemont High? One of those classics, movies that I only ever watch clips of, but haven't really sat down and watched the whole thing because I'm a millennial and I only watch things in small clips because who the hell has time to watch a whole movie, honestly. Freaking Generation Xers. Get out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Mr. Day.
Cameron Crowe.
There we go.
And Papa West.
Paul W.S. Anderson.
Some good guesses there, but the answer we're looking for was Amy Heckerling.
I know Cameron Crowe wrote it.
He did, yes. That was Amy Heckerling's first, that was her directorial debut, I believe. With that, that's going to take us, we're halfway through round 1. We're going to get into question 5, which is in the category of famous actors and actresses. Which real-life person has been portrayed by Henry Fonda, Benjamin Walker, and Daniel Day-Lewis? In some case there, one of those is not like the other, or the others. Someone sticks out like a sore thumb. And
I knew one of those names.
You did? Okay, well, that's
Yes.
something. Hopefully you know the real people that they happen to portray, because that would be very helpful for this particular question. But maybe it'll be in your top 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thoughts that you have here. Pens down. And we're back to Mr. West.
Abraham Lincoln.
And Christopher Day.
Abraham Lincoln.
Both on the board. The answer was the 16th president, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. So tied 1-1 as we go into question 6, which is in the category of dramas. What age did Bette Davis's Margot Channing just turn when she starts questioning the future of her film roles at the beginning of All About Eve?
Okay. So this stuff comes off.
Yeah, another one of those really famous movies that just haven't come across because
Yes.
never have time. It's never on TV. And if that's the case, it's not going to hit me there. But I do know that sometimes people can get a bad case of Bette Davis eyes,
Okay.
and you don't want that.
Well, that's all bubbly.
PSA for everybody out there. Just make sure you're keeping aware of Bette Davis eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, and the Destroyer.
24.
Comes off too.
And Papa West.
Wear protection. 53.
You guys went with very specific numbers. The answer was 40.
Yes.
40.
What?
But I appreciate you guys going for it like that. That's going to take us into our penultimate question here in round 1, which is in the category of biopics or biopics, depending on how you want to say it.
The other way first.
In which film does Dennis Quaid portray Jerry Lee Lewis?
You can tell I've never done
I
this.
do enjoy the Dennis Quaid. Enjoy his brother Randy Quaid as well. Even though he is a crazy man. I mean, like uber crazy, off the reservation crazy. But Dennis Quaid,
Your other
he was
finger?
in The Parent Trap, and he was in Frequency.
Where your nail
Those are
is?
movies I've seen. Maybe you've seen them too out there. Let us know what kinds of movies that you've seen in relation to Dennis Quaid. Maybe The Rookie. Anyway, 5, 4, 3, dose. Pens down. Papa West, going to you for the last time here in this round.
I wrote it down before you said it. The Rookie.
No, you think you-
And Chris Day.
I said it too, The Rookie.
The answer we're looking for was Great Balls of Fire. Like that famous song. That's going to take us into the final question here in round 1, question 8, which is in the category of crime films. What is Naomi Watts' character's profession in the film Eastern Promises?
Okay.
Everybody knows what the famous part of this movie is. The part where Viggo Mortensen has his wang out and he's just murking folks.
Get off my hand.
It has nothing to do with the answer to this particular question, but everybody knows that when you're trying to watch that David Cronenberg movie, that's what you're looking for, or that's what's just going to end up in your face anyway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, and Destroyer.
Therapist.
And Papa West.
Thinker.
Oh. Unfortunately, neither of you are correct. The answer we're looking for was midwife.
Right.
Midwife. So with that, got a real barn burner on our hands here, folks. After 8 questions, we have a blistering score of 1-1. That's going to take us into our second round for this evening, which is a little bit different. If you haven't watched Titan Trivia, you might not be aware of it. This is our category /
I'm
panic
pretty
round.
nailed with this one, lady.
In this, I'm going to have 3 different categories that are
She sent me
connected to
another set,
letters
but
A, B,
put
and
it
C.
on, so that would be-
Whoever's in the lead
Here,
will
stick
tied,
it.
so I'll come up with a tiebreaker here. But in this case, whoever has the opportunity to pick will select the letter A, B, or C, and that will correspond to an actor, actress, or director. The person who is making that decision can decide if they want to keep that particular person, or they can move on and choose another one of the remaining letters. But if they do happen to choose a second letter, whatever category that corresponds to, that's what we're stuck with. In this case, both gentlemen will have the opportunity to bet 1 to 5, but since they only have 1 point, they can really only bet 1 point here because we're not going to go into negatives. And they could also do 0, I guess, in this case, because we will allow it since what the scores entail. But they're going to get 3 questions. Whatever it is that they bet, if they happen to get all 3 answers correct, then they will gain the points that they bet. If they get 2 questions correct, then they get those points. If they get anything less than 2 right, then they will lose the points that they bet. So it's a strategy game, depending on the categories and how many points they have. So in this case, like I said, it's also a pen and paper round, so you'll both be getting the same questions. So make sure you keep your boards handy. 15 seconds, state and show your answer. Once we get through the 3 questions, we'll see if anybody happens to gain any points or lose any points. But that's going to take us into... we'll do a little bit of a easy tiebreaker here for the sake of trying to decide who gets to choose the category. So, gentlemen, I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 30. So who's ever the closest will get the chance to choose. So, Chris, what number do you want to guess?
15.
And Papa West?
7.
Chris is actually the closest. I was thinking of 17. So, Papa, if you just added a teen on there, you would have been right
I
there.
was thinking about it too.
All right, so Mr. Day, you have the choice between category A, B, or C. Which one would you prefer?
A.
A is in the realm of Chloe Grace Moretz. Would you like to keep Chloe Grace Moretz, or would you like to go to another person?
No, we're going to do B.
You're going to do B. B is in the category of Barry Levinson.
I actually like him.
So we're doing director Barry Levinson. So, gentlemen, I'll give you a couple seconds. Think about the bets that you want to do. Again, you're very limited here just based on how many points you have.
I don't think
You
it's
want to bet 0 or 1. But do let me know on your board, and then I will keep that for the record so that we know when we do the 3 questions what it is you'll be gaining, losing, or retaining. So give you a couple more seconds here to think about it. Give you all a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen, your bet should be in. I'm going to go to Papa West first. How much are you betting here, Papa?
0.
Big fat 0. And Mr. Day, how much are you going to be betting?
Screw it.
0.
0. So this is an all stats round. No points exchanging. So We'll have to do another tiebreaker when we get to round 3, but that's okay. So we're going to give you 3 questions, gentlemen, in the category of the director, Barry Levinson.
Yeah, she looked really good.
I like them.
Starting out with question 1.
Take pictures of the poster on set.
On which television show does Robin Williams' Tom Dobbs announce that the voting system was flawed and that there was a cover-up to hide the truth of the presidential election in Man of the Year?
What snapped to me?
Can you repeat that question?
Yep. On which television show does Robin Williams' Tom Dobbs announce that the voting system was flawed and that there was a cover-up to hide the truth of the presidential election in Man of the Year? I do
Old
really
strategy, Chris. Wasting a repeat on a stats-only question.
Hey, sometimes you just want to get things right, even if they don't have any connection or any effect on what's actually going to happen in the match. I can understand that. But with that, I'm going to go to the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We're going to start with Chris this time.
Good morning, America.
And Papa West.
It sounds like you would hear it on Fox News.
No, he was actually very liberal and hated Fox News with a passion because he had his own show. But the answer was Saturday Night Live. That's going to take us into question 2, gentlemen. If you had bet points, this would just be to retain. But since you didn't, we're just doing this for fun. Your second question, also in the category of Barry Levinson. What is the name of the spray that Jack Black's character creates that makes him rich in 2004's Envy? I do very much enjoy this movie. It's one of those kind of forgotten gems in the 2000s, but I do think it's hilarious. And that's kind of what Barry Levinson's career was later on in his career, after he made, very famous movies. But you can't go wrong with a Jack Black movie, I don't think. Not very often, anyway. But my thoughts aside. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. And Jacob.
Super special juice.
I like it. I would take some of that. And Chris.
I don't know.
You're closer, Chris. The actual answer was vaporize because it got rid of poo. It made it disappear. It was all magic. But that's going to take us into our third and our final question in this round related to Barry Levinson. Besides Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor, what is the only other Oscar that Rain Man won at the 1989 Academy Awards? This is the very famous movie I was alluding to that Barry Levinson had directed, because obviously he won an Oscar for it, as stated within that question.
Hey,
But
first.
he's one of those guys.
Just
You either enjoy him or you probably don't. But I very much enjoy his movies, so that's why he's a category on the wheel that nobody felt very confident in to bet the singular point that they had. But I digress. Go to the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. And Mr. Day.
Best adapted screenplay.
And Papa West.
The award this match will get, best score.
Mr. Day, you were very, very, very close. It was best original screenplay.
Okay.
But with that, gentlemen, that round 2 that really didn't mean anything has come to a close. We are still going into our final round with that score of 1-1. And our round 3, our final round, is, again, if you've ever been or seen trivia, you know how this goes. This is the random number category round. So each player will pick 3 numbers from 1 to 12. Each number is going to correlate to a category with a question in that category. Depending on if they selected the number first, second, or third, the question will correspond to a 2, 3, or 5-point question, respectively. They will alternate depending on if the lead changes. We will go until someone is mathematically eliminated. Whoever is winning at the time after those 3 questions that are asked will be declared the winner. Even though you guys are going to be getting different questions, you don't need to write anything down. We do recommend that you keep your hands on screen as you're answering that question. So with that, again, we are tied 1-1. So we do need to do another tiebreaker. So in this case, You know what? I like the number thing, and I don't have one of those cool fancy apps to flip a coin because I'm not that kind of person. So I'm going to expand out the range. And this time I'm going to do...
Just let Jake go first.
Oh, you're just going to let Jacob go first? You're not going to do the number thing? All right, fine. I was going to do that, but I wanted to be fair. So with that, Mr. West, because Mr. Day has deferred, we're going to let you choose your first three numbers between 1 and 12. So what would you like?
Chris, will you give me a number between 1 and 12, please?
7.
Okay. It's a good number. So Robert, I'm going to go with 7.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go with 5.
5. All right. Sounds good. Both odds.
I'm going to go with 11.
Oh, all odds. So Mr. West is picking 7, 5, and 11. Mr. Day, what three numbers would you like that are not 7, 5, and 11?
Go ahead, Jake, and pick me the first one.
2.
I'm going to do 4 and 6.
Oh, all odds, all evens. All right. So Jacob got to pick first. We're going to let him actually answer his question first. Jacob, you picked number 7 as your category. Number 7 for 2 points relates to the category of movie release dates.
Can I pick a different category?
Nope, stuck with it. Sorry.
Okay.
My category, too.
He picked it for you, so interestingly enough, you both suffer. Not accounting for 2020, what is the only year since the start of the MCU that a film has not been released?
I'm a disgrace to my family. Thank you for telling me that.
Oh,
I know this is embarrassing. Yes, I do have to just pick a random number out of my head. And I can do that, little Sean.
4, 3, 2.
2015.
1. Unfortunately, Jacob, that is incorrect. The answer we were looking for was 2009. 2009.
But it's kind of tricky now because Fox is canon, so they kind of consider X-Men Origins Wolverine, but it's not. So
Not in the
not
MCU.
It's not the MCU, though. So,
Chris, that was a cute little saying there to try to be smart and end up working out of your favor. So, it's a little smack on the wrist.
even though Jacob missed that question, since I'm going to go to Mr. Day here for his 2-pointer since he has more questions left. Mr. Day, you had number 2 chosen for you. You did not actually pick it. Number 2 relates to the category of Star Wars. Star Wars.
Really?
Yep, and boy, don't you guys feel hilarious for not keeping it picked.
right.
Where was Luke going to pick up power converters before his uncle told him to clean the droids in Episode 4, A New Hope?
Tashi Station.
Tashi Station is correct.
He's gonna go to Tashi Station pick up some power converters.
Yeah, the
You
most,
did not whine hard enough for that one.
yeah,
No,
the most
I'm not
whiny
gonna-
statement you've ever heard in film.
I don't think my heart could take it.
I was going to go to Tachi Station to pick up some power converters.
I'm
Uncle
still
Owen.
still healing to be whiny.
Not unless you can stop time, speed up the harvest, or teleport me off this rock. Either way, if for people who didn't know, Tashi Station was obviously correct. So Chris does take a 2-point lead. So that's going to bounce us back to Jacob. Jacob, you actually picked the number 5 for your 3-point question. And number 5 correlates to the category of comedies. In which state are Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis competing for a seat in Congress in 2012's campaign?
North Carolina.
That is correct. So with that,
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to say it like Justin Roberts. North Carolina.
either way, you were correct. So Jacob does take a 1-point lead. So that is going to bounce us back to Mr. Day, who chose the number 4, my wife's favorite number. Chris, your category 3 points. Number 4 connects to the category of Oscars.
Okay.
Who is the most recent person to win Best Director without their film winning Best Picture?
That is Alfonso Cuarón for Roma.
Alfonso Cuarón is the correct answer. With that, Chris reclaims his 2-point lead. And we're getting down to judgment time here, folks. We have Papa West having to hit his 5-pointer. If he gets it, forces it back to Chris. If he does not, Mr. Day will win this game to inevitably decide who gets to talk more shit later on down the line. Mr. West, you chose a man of all odds because you are at odds with Chris Day. You have chosen category 11. Category 11 corresponds to a decade nobody was alive in here, I don't believe. The 1970s.
Was not alive in that decade.
Okay. I didn't think.
No, I was 20 years too early.
Okay. I got you. In your question of the 1970s, Jacob, what was the name of Navin's invention that initially makes him rich, but leads to multiple lawsuits and damages paid in 1979's The Jerk?
I did not hear what the name of the movie was. Can I hear the name of the movie again?
I'll give you a technical repeat.
Thank you.
In 1970s, what was the name of Navin's invention that initially makes him rich, but leads to multiple lawsuits and damages paid in 1979's The Jerk? Tense moment. Very serious here. Don't want to make any jokes. But, Jacob, I am going to have to give you a 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Repeat the question.
That is your first repeat. You have 2 left. Again, in the category of the 1970s. What was the name of Navin's invention that initially makes him rich but leads to multiple lawsuits and damages paid in 1979's The Jerk? Hope nobody is watching this particular match right now. Gonna watch this match. We're all good-hearted folks here, people. Just trying to entertain you. It'll be trivia.
I'm not.
Oh. Chris claims he's not. So.
I'm the bad guy.
There we go. We're not all that. But my mistakes aside. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Repeat the question.
That is Jacob's second repeat. His 1 left. Again, Mr. West in the category of the 1970s. What was the name of Navin's invention that initially makes him rich, but leads to multiple lawsuits and damages paid in 1979's The Jerk? Cut this tension with some sort of sharpened object. Some people might say a knife. I might say a shard of glass. Depends on what you have handy.
I would say a wooden spoon.
Or a wooden spoon.
Get that shit away from me.
But it is palpable. Gonna have to go back into the 5 count here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The coffee collar.
And your winner, with a score of 6-4, the Destroyer, Christopher Day. The answer we were looking for is the OptiGrab, or things to hold your glasses on your face. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the match. We have the final score of 6-4. This is going to lead to our interviews here, closing interviews, and eventually our sign-off. But before that, We're going to go to our closing interviews. We're going to start with the second place finisher here this evening because, as I always say, if you compete in movie trivia, you did not lose. You are not a loser because you put yourself out there, and that's something to be respected. But in this case, the second place finisher is Papa West. Papa, you mentioned the idea about smacking people with spoons and demonstrating authority, but unfortunately, you just came up a little bit short of demonstrating that particular authority this evening. How are you feeling? Are you going to be able to get over the fact that you weren't able to beat Christopher Day with a wooden spoon?
So you said that there are no losers here in movie trivia. I have to be associated with Chris Day just being in this match. That makes me a loser. And the fact that you have to drag me into your league, your format, not tell me anything about it beforehand, and you barely pull it off. Good job. That goes to show you. He's probably going to give himself a title shot after this, because that's what Chris does. But yeah, hey, you got one more question right than me. Nothing you can say or do about it. Anytime I can say North Carolina is a good day. So it's a good day. And fuck you, Chris.
Papa, did you feel that you were intentionally hamstrung based on what you just said, that you were unaware of the formatting or the differences in the rules here for Titan trivia matches?
Kind of a little bit, especially with round 2. I was really looking forward. I was really thinking, since Chris has no creativity, I was expecting like a normal IMDb round, like a couple other leagues that he has been a part of, because he steals ideas from other people. So I was really, really pushing for that. And then you do this random, no, you're going to bet, and we're going to ask you 3 questions about Barry Levinson. Because I know who that is. Okay, sweet.
Unfortunately, you didn't win the closest number, so you couldn't pick between the letters. And maybe you would have stayed with Chloe Grace Moretz if you had the chance. Final question here, Jacob. Will we get a chance to see you again in the Titan trivia landscape, competing in one level or another?
Anytime I can be a thorn in Chris Day's side is a fantastic day. So I definitely would hope that Chris allows me to show up again, kind of redeem myself for this clusterfuck that was my first match, take on somebody else, get an actual win, or even manage someone to kick Chris's ass. Because that works out even better a lot of the times.
Maybe that could happen. Obviously, you'll be in mind here, Papa West. It's always a delight and a pleasure to have you here. I'm sorry that things did not work out this evening, but obviously we will see you down the road. And in other landscapes, we do enjoy seeing you there, where you have a little bit more firm grasp on the goings-on. So thank you for that. This is going to shift us to our winner for this evening, the Destroyer, Christopher Day. Chris, you didn't have a lot to say pre-match. Now that the results have come in, the votes have been tallied. Anything that you would like to say to your opponent now?
Well, I can honestly say he could suck my dick because that was easy. That was a win. That was that. I proved it. I said what I was gonna do, and I did it. Look, all jokes aside, it was a pretty horrible round 1. I will say that. I could have been better. The tricky questions were really, really tricky. I was not expecting that. I know Jacob would probably agree with that. Round 1 was tricky this time. This was probably the trickiest round 1 I've had in a while. But besides the fact of that, the fact that I'm going to have to see this guy right here with the draft coming up and have to compete as a manager alongside him and Matt, it's going to be a fun little time. And I can say that I'm going to just brag this win over him because here's the thing. Me and Robert have a title shot against the champion coming up in Allegiance. So he kind of predicted that, right? And, yeah, so, I think that, me and Robert aren't done. We've said we haven't been done for a while, and, he got lucky because, hey, Haven gave me a question that was really hard when a movie that really, really sucks and kind of screwed me over. So, I mean, who the hell watches replicas? But today, I got lucky with Oscars, and I got lucky with the Tashi Station. And, yeah, I mean, honestly, besides that, it's good to be back, and Look, I'll address that in a little bit when we go into what happened. I mean, I won't say the whole thing, but I'm very sorry to the fans that we couldn't get this out when we hoped it to, but we're here. So that's really all I have to say. But Jake and I probably won't be done. So we'll see. Probably a geeks match, probably a tags match. We'll see. But yeah, 3-1. I'll take that for a season.
How do you intend to lord this victory over Papa West now and in the future?
By drafting the best competitors I can at the draft. I will school both him and these nuts, and I will get the best people I can in this draft. And I will beat the shit out of them, and I also will become champion, and I will also brag over all their heads that this is, and always will be, Chris Day's land. This is my area. This is my expertise. I am one of the greatest of all time. I am not the greatest. That goes to Grant Gregory. And, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, this dude has like 15 titles. I only have 2, soon to be 3. But I said what I was going to do. I basically went Stone Cold Steve Austin to Scott Hall over here and said I was going to do it. So, like I said, the bad guy wins in the end. Don't believe in the good guys, kids.
And the wrestling references just go bloop over my head because that's not the thing about these things that I'm interested in. But with that being said, Mr. Day, thank you so much for your closing interview. We're going to go ahead and do a wrap up. We'll go around the horn, let everybody know kind of what they have going on, where it is they can see them. And then we'll end this particular stream. So we'll start with the winner here today. Mr. Day, where can the good people find you? What do you have going on here in the sphere?
Y'all can find me here at Titan Trivia Land. We got the draft. I think it's at the end of April, so I think it's the 25th, if I'm correct. We're probably going to pre-record it because we all have lives and we all have, well, some of us have kids. So we all have lives and we all have things we got to do. I know Papa West does. And we all have lives and we all have jobs. But the draft will be then. The season will officially start in May. So we'll have that for you guys. But I also want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all the love and support. Obviously, there was a very unfortunate thing that happened personally to me. That was a health diagnosis that I did not see coming for a 25-year-old. And Jacob and Rob and the entire family here, you know, we might have our little rivalries and we might hate each other, but we are a family, and that goes to anybody, including Matt Graham, which we are hoping for the best for you, by the way. We are hoping you're doing very, very well. We're a family here, and we respect everybody, so I just want to say thank you. Outside of that, y'all can find me here. You can find my movie Drifted. It's now on the channel, so go check that out. Besides that, yeah, look forward. We got more shows. We got Aftermath coming back. And I believe we're doing a couple podcasts, if I'm correct, Robert. Sports shows and possibly a movie talk show, so we'll see. But like I said, Aftermath's coming up. We'll probably have Matt and Jacob when they can to talk about their competitors. So, yeah, check it out.
Thank you, Chris. And Papa West, where can the good people find you?
You can find me all over the place. Facebook, Jacob E. West. Yes, that E is important. Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. 307 Jakob, that's YAHKOB. And then all over the leagues, I help run TMG Trivia and TMG Entertainment. And I compete everywhere or manage everywhere or just really try to make funny jokes that I think are hilarious and everyone thinks are not funny. It's usually how they go.
I actually enjoy them very much. And also, if you missed it, TMG Singles just came back. There was a match that just dropped, I believe, last night between Jordan Anderson and Kirby French. So if you get a chance to watch that, do go ahead and do so. I am Mr. Robert Kastner. I just did a podcast for Featured Presentation Productions called Digesting Cinema a few weeks back, where they're going through and they're watching a different movie every week based on a particular category. I was on the one for movies featuring a rapper, and we happened to watch the 1992 classic Juice. So if you get a chance, do listen to that podcast. It's very good. I was also on TMG Entertainment. I'm a frequent collaborator on Supernova Show with Colton Roberts that airs Sunday mornings. I also just did a few episodes of Schmo Talks. We go back and we go through old seasons of the Schmodown. There was just a particularly big episode that happened this week with the Cobra, Chance Ellison. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and do so. I'm also competing in all the different fan leagues. I also have podcasts I'm working on, and hopefully we'll get on a little bit more solid ground so I can stop talking about it that way and actually start talking about actual episodes that will happen. But otherwise, I'm just at Facebook at Robert Kastner. I'm a people person. If you want to at me or talk to me, go ahead and do so. But with that, ladies and germs, we are wrapping up here this evening, this particular contest. It was Christopher Day over Papa West 6-4. But do stay tuned for additional Titan trivia content, more Titan Mania draft, and everything that else that our commissioner here, Christopher Day, did mention. So for him, Papa West, I am Mr. Robert Kastner. Remember, keep coming out to the Titan trivia landscape. We appreciate you. And don't forget to tip your virtual waitress. Bye-bye.